welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas. Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Hello. Look, it's Billy from last week. This is a new thing because I turn off the equipment and I pull the plug. Yeah, you're on. Okay. And look, it's Billy and Rob. Oh,
Hi,
no.
Billy and Rob.
Look at this.
That's funny.
All right, there's going to be a, what do you call these things? Like an Easter egg today? You got to be kidding me. Now, trust me. Something went through the procedure that it needed to go through.
Okay, good.
Is that a good? You know what I'm talking about?
I got you. Nobody probably even noticed.
Nobody knows.
And I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't said anything.
Man, you've got to be kidding me. You have absolutely got to be kidding me.
I wear this all the time.
If you know what the Easter egg is this morning, there was a glitch that showed Billy and I. That wasn't the Easter, but there was something about that image that just happened that coincides with this morning. And if you can figure it out, you know, I did one of these one time and I gave away $100 and it took 3 weeks for somebody to figure it out.
Well, you only have 24 hours to figure it out today.
And you got 24 hours and there's no money. I'll give you a Walker County Federal Credit Union cup.
There you go.
Yeah, I have a stack of those still, so we'll hook you up with a cup.
There you go.
And I'll put an IOU $10 in there or something, you know?
Yeah.
I'll put an IOU with like a IOU. No, I'll put an IOU for $10,000, and then on the back side, you know, it'll have a little asterisk on the front, Toy, and on the back side, I'll say, just kidding.
It's not April Fool's, but
Not April Fool. Did you hear the April Fool's joke that I pulled at the beginning of this month?
no.
My buddy, it was on a Tuesday, and Jason Thompson was with me. He has Guardian Defense here in town, and we've been talking about the 500th episode because that's coming up.
500?
Is that the right way to say that? Or no, the 500th.
I was like, is that a new number?
I'm sitting here with the banker, and I'm sitting here. What did I say? The 500?
Fifth hundred.
500. That's Huntsville.
I mean,
that's Huntsville's grown on me. It's the 500. The 500. I can't believe I said that. The 500th episode is coming up before too long, and I was joking around with Jason Thompson, and I said, hey, I got something to tell you, buddy. And he goes, what is that? We're on episode 489 right now, so 11 episodes away. It's going to be on a Tuesday, by the way. Maybe somebody can, call in sick and we can like advance the show a couple of days so it can be on a Monday.
Gotcha.
It's going to fall on a Tuesday. We're going to have a big celebration here. We'll probably have 2 people show up, so it'll be fun.
You can have balloons and cake.
I'm going to do a net right here, and I'm going to have a fishing wire where I pull that down.
Who's cleaning that up?
Oh, I don't have my intern anymore, so we'll have to figure that one out too.
I'm out. So I'm glad it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah, you're like done. Speaking of, I'm going to get back to my story about April Fool's toy, but I said a fishing net. Mm-hmm. So my Easter egg could have something to do with something related to fishing, possibly. So that's another hint. A certain company makes something really cool that I didn't know about that's attached to something that they make that is used for fishing.
Gotcha.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Learned it on Sunday from a young man here at church.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I said, I really like those. And I said, which one do you have? And he said, my favorite one is the one that involves fishing. So these are all sorts of hints I'm dropping at you. And so this morning I noticed something about a certain thing that you could use for fishing. My April Fool's was this toy. I told Jason, I said, we're getting close to 500 episodes. Oh, man, that's exciting. I said, yeah, it is, but it's not. And he said, what do you mean it's not? I said, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and announce this, but we're leaving Huntsville. We're moving for the 6th time. He goes, what? I said, yeah. I said I'd never, leave here, but the opportunity was just too good to pass up, and I'm going back to my broadcasting. I said, I got a call from a pretty prominent university, and they want me to be their new guy. And he goes, oh, that's great, buddy. And I said, yeah, it's up in Lubbock. So I just went on with this for like 2. And then I said, dude, I can't do that. Even if they called, I just couldn't go. Because it's too much packing up and moving. And I love what we get to do here on Hello Huntsville and this community. And Huntsville's one of those places that just brings you back in,
It's so nice to hear something positive.
Yeah. See, I'm bringing the positive juice.
You are. I appreciate that.
Did you need some positive juice this morning?
Probably.
On this non-mimosa Monday?
That's the negative part about today.
But I'm serious, and Jason was like all sad, and he's like, well, I'm happy for you, man. I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm not going anywhere, April Fool's. But I started thinking about when we left here 2 years ago and how much I missed everybody. You work hard to get involved in the community. It's hard work. Mm-hmm. You guys at Walker County Federal Credit Union are involved in so much, and it's important to be involved in the community, but there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Lots of time, little spare, but lots of time.
Ton of it. Not only, of course, you're at Walker County Federal, but you're also active with the Chamber. We'll have a friend of ours, Cassidy, joining us a little bit later this morning, who's new at the Chamber, but you invest a lot into a community, and when you leave, it feels like a part of you just kind of, I don't know, like dies off. And when we left, even though I was so excited about this new opportunity, and you pray about things and God opens these cool doors and you're like, this is everything I could have ever imagined. You hear these from other people, and then you're like, it finally happened to me, and you get all excited. And then you're gone for almost a year and you realize, whoa, I just left a big chunk of my heart somewhere and I can't take it with me. We've moved 5 times, but I don't have a moving company to bring that piece of my heart from Huntsville up here to Fargo. I guess I'm just going to have to go back and get it.
Well, as an adult, I've lived in 3 homes. The one I'm in now, we've been in for 12 years, so I'm not a mover. And I only moved across town. I've never left Huntsville. My son picks on me all the time because he's like, why are you so, hung it? You just want to stay in Huntsville. Why do you want to stay in Huntsville? You just love that place. And I'm like, I don't even know. I can't explain it. I just have no desire to leave here. I don't know. I'm born and raised my children here, and just my family's here, and I don't know. Just don't have a desire to leave. So it must not be that bad.
No, and I think that's why it's so important, that the culture of a community stays intact. And what do I mean by that? I've seen firsthand communities are going to grow. There's no stopping that. There's no the word's out. You know, President White at Sam Houston State used to always say that the best kept secret in Texas is Sam Houston State University. Well, the word is getting out that one of the best kept secrets of a place to live is Huntsville, Texas. So you want to embrace people that I moved here. I mean, who am I? I moved here 4 years ago. I'm a newcomer on the block. You know, I'm still trying to convince a few people like, hey, I want to be, you know, I like it here, you know, because you got some rooted people, and I get that because my hometown, I felt the same way. But what was on my heart when I moved to Huntsville is I loved the culture. I love the people. We talk about it every single show. We ask people when they call in, what do you love about this community? We do that for a reason, because it's every day we want that message to get out, that this is a great place, because it is. And people say the people. 90% of people, when we ask them, what do you love about this community? They say the people, the people, the people. I always say it's the 1%, you know, that you see that are negative and that are upset about something. And somebody got the comment, by the way. Yeah, did you see it? But you have to work in a community to preserve the culture, because that culture is what's made Huntsville great. And when I moved here 4 or 5 years ago, that was something that I took near and dear. I said, I've got ideas about, you know, when we used to broadcast for the school district, I said, let's bring video and do all this really fun stuff. And that was fun, but I also wanted to get to know the people and understand the culture. And you hear that word, it's thrown around a lot, especially in college sports. It's like our culture, or even in high school sports, culture. You hear it all over the place. At the work environment, what's our culture? Maybe that's the inspiration today, is think about what's your culture. What do you represent? What do you stand on? For me, as a person of faith, I always have to talk about my faith first. But then secondly, it's, what is it? Think about it. What is it? What is the culture? What is something that you want to exemplify? What is something that means something to you? And I think here in Huntsville, the culture is, it's good people doing good things and promoting good, helping each other. You go to a lot of communities, and I think you'll see it through adversity, people helping each other, because that's just human nature. But here in Huntsville, people just help people.
We had, an interim CEO at the chamber the last several months, and she was telling me, or telling us as a whole, that she's never seen the camaraderie and the dedication of the volunteers from this community that we have in this community anywhere else. And so from somebody who doesn't know Huntsville and doesn't, just came in to help out and be an outsider, she noticed that our community definitely is cohesive. And it's nice to hear that when you hear so much negativity and you're so inundated with negativity on a daily basis. And when somebody comes in and says, hey, your community's pretty awesome. Hey, your volunteers are, second to none. It's a nice feeling.
You feel good about it.
It is great.
And I think too, like I grew up in Georgetown, and I love my hometown. Don't ever get me wrong. And I never thought. I remember when Steve Everett had called me and said something about, hey, are you ready to be the next voice of the Bearcats? And I didn't know any of the backstory. I just knew I wanted to broadcast Division I sports. And Steve Everett called me. I was in insurance training up in Dallas because I was trying to figure out how to make a living after I sold my IT company. You think you sell a business, and you're like, all right, man, I can retire. Yeah, right. That lasted like 8 months, and I was out of money. It's not that I blew it all. I had a business for 14 years, but I learned really quickly that you can have a business that generates a good amount of income, but if you as the owner is only paying yourself a certain amount, your business may not be worth what you think it is, because someone who wants to invest in it wants to get their return on their money. And some people don't want to work in it, so they're like, I just want to buy it and manage it and let other people run it. How am I going to get paid? If you're the owner paying yourself a little bit and there's nothing left over, where's the value in that? But I found somebody who was a veteran. I found another guy who actually offered me more for the business, but I didn't feel comfortable with that person, because it's like your baby, when you build something, I wanted it to continue to have a great legacy. I just didn't feel right about, not that this other person was bad, I just didn't feel like their heart was in it to serve the community. And so I found this other guy, and he offered a little bit less, but to this day, I was just thinking about it the other day, it's 2025. If I would have stayed after it, we would have been celebrating almost 20 years in business. He's continued to run it. It's still open. It's really cool. Like when I go back home, I'm like, hey, there's the old business still going strong. And, it's important to hold on to things that really matter, but also to do the right thing. And I think that's what Huntsville really exemplifies. My hometown, it grew so fast, Toy, and so quickly that I saw firsthand the culture there, and not bashing anybody, but when you open the floodgates, it's like Huntsville has that narrow path to get in. I don't mean that in a rude way, but it is. It's like this cool little narrow nook on 45, if you think about it. But when you open the floodgates, man, all of a sudden the culture's gone. And it's a new culture, and it's not what I grew up in.
And I think you have a lot of people that are trying to hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very protective of it. However,
understandably,
growth is inevitable, and we just got to figure out how to have that growth and, maintain as much of the culture as we can and do it the growth needs to be manageable, and just because growth is inevitable doesn't mean that it can't be positive.
That's right. And you're right on the money about that. And that's what I was getting at. When Mayor Broniger was here, and I just love Mayor Broniger. I can't call him Andy. It just doesn't sound right. I love Russell Humphrey. He's been a great mayor and just an all-around awesome guy. But I always call people their titles long after they're done. Like Bobby Williams, I just can't call him Bobby or Mr. Williams. I call him Coach Williams. And he hasn't been a coach for a long time. But I don't know. My dad just raised me with respect. And he always said if somebody has a title, call them by that title unless they
Southern boy.
Well, that's how Daddy raised me, and he said call them.
Hey, Daddy raised you.
Yeah, and he said call them by their title unless they tell you otherwise. That's just how Dad raised me, and so that stuck with me. But
do you teach your kids yes, ma'am, no, ma'am?
Oh yeah. I make them say it.
Yes.
Yeah, and Braylon is catching on to it. But she'll say, yeah, and I'm like, yes, sir. And she'll go, yes, sir.
Yeah, my grown children still do that. I do, too. In fact, if I say hun to my mom or whatever, I'm just like, that just doesn't sound right. And I'm almost 47 years old, and it just doesn't sound right.
If you say hun to your mom, then like 2 seconds later, you have a red cheek. No, I'm just kidding.
She might put the whoop down on us for that. And it drives our whole family is like that, though.
Our neighbors growing up, wonderful folks, we were so their family's been so good to us, and their entire family came to my father's funeral, and it's so neat and they moved away 20 years ago from next door to my parents, but that was so heartwarming to have that family be there and support our family. And not only did they go to the memorial service that we had, but they came out to the graveside. That's a family time. Of course, a lot of people come to those, but it's more intimate. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we welcomed anybody and everybody, but that family was there by our side through that whole process. And I thought of them, though, because the mama of that family, she was from Mexico. The family was, her and her husband were from Mexico. The mama didn't play. She did not mind discipline. And so you'd hear a pop and you'd hear a scream every once in a while over there. But those kids turned out, great kids, but mama did not play next door. And I'll never forget, I was like, my mama was a tough, loving mama. She loved us so much that we didn't want to do bad around my mom. My mom, to this day, I cannot think of one time that my mom ever spanked me. My dad, he was the big disciplinarian of the family. Now, Dad, yeah, he didn't mind spanking, but Mama, I didn't want to. My mom is so kind to everybody, and if she's watching or she'll watch this on replay, she'll be like, I don't know what he's talking about. But she is, and she's very humble, and she doesn't realize, I don't think because of her humbleness, I don't think, Mom, you don't realize how great you've been and how great you are, and I love you very much. And don't for one moment, Mom, ever think that you're not kind and sweet, because my mom's had a hard, tough life, but she has been very sweet. And I remember growing up, I said, my mama don't spank me like that, and because I'd hear next door, but I remembered it was because my mom was so nice. I didn't want to do anything wrong because I didn't want to hurt my mom.
Well, then I got juiced on this because I thought I was a pretty nice person, and my kids gave me grief. So what's up with that? I will tell you, the two older ones got their knuckles popped with a wooden spoon multiple times.
Oh, that's not. Yeah, that one's. Ooh.
That was because they would fight and argue in the car. They drove me nuts. That was where they got in the most trouble.
So would you have like a 6-foot spoon?
Nope. I had a spoon stuck between my seat and the console, and I'd start swinging in the back seat. Whoever got hit, got hit.
Well, since we're on this lovely discussion this morning. We want to welcome all of you in as we are rolling today. Welcome in. Thanks for being a part of this show. As again, I said earlier, we're getting close to episode 500 today, episode number 489. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Also our presenting sponsor for our third annual Rays of Hope. Mark your calendars. That event will be coming up already in just a couple of months, and so we will be at the HEB parking lot on Thursday, June the 5th. Be on the lookout this week for information on how you can be involved. Our foundation support is already included in that. We appreciate Walker County Federal Credit Union. They are your full-service community credit union serving Walker County since 1953, and thank you all for all of your support.
1957.
Well, I gave you all a few extra years
Thank you.
somebody had the idea 4 years prior.
You're probably right.
So I was testing Toy. She was right on the money. But somebody 4 years prior was thinking about it. That's why I said that. But really, they do such a great job. And, you know, folks like Toy and Walker County Federal Credit Union keep our content free, and they allow us, you know, it's not just sponsoring this show, but it's the entire platform. And that's why we include them in our programs that we do, just like our Rays of Hope, because that's helping to bring awareness to our nonprofits here in Huntsville. And we so appreciate that. Many of you have continued to be such great supporters. And I love it because every week we're so blessed, Toy, to have new folks supporting us, just like Declan Edge Art Company, who are now joining us. They are opening up soon at Huntsville Executive Office Suites, and very excited for, I think it's Joe and Tanya Shore doing that, and great folks here in the town. So we welcome you guys. I wanted to stay on the kid train for just a moment, but before I do, Jamie Saucier is the winner today. He gets the bragging rights, no $100, but he said you were wearing the same shirt. And I washed it, I promise. I washed the clothes this weekend, but I didn't realize I wore this one on Friday. It's just comfortable.
I didn't notice it, so
yeah, it's comfortable.
obviously I don't pay attention to detail.
And I was sitting here the other day on Friday, like putting my thumbnail in this. I was like, ow, what is that? And I never looked into it. And then a guy at church, he had on one of these shirts, and I was like, man, I really like those shirts. I started wearing them. And he goes, yeah, my favorite's the Pro Angler. And I didn't realize they have little tags and tell you what style they
Right.
are. I was wearing one and it said Round Rock. And I was like, that's right near my hometown. That's cool. Where's Huntsville at? Why don't we have one of those? But he goes, yeah, man, I like that Angler one. You know, it's got like a thing in there to cut your fishing line. I had no idea.
And you were sticking your finger in it.
Got a razor blade, and I'm sitting there sticking my finger in it Friday and didn't realize it.
Whoever knew that your shirt could be a weapon.
Yeah, no
Or you
idea.
strangle somebody with it.
No idea. Jennifer Augustinetti joining us, saying good morning. It's a marvelous Monday on this Holy Week, and that's right. We celebrated Palm Sunday and Easter coming up. We'll talk Easter. Let us know your Easter traditions this morning. I'll talk about ours in just a little bit later on, but let us know what your Easter tradition is. You know, many folks get up, they go to church. My old pastor used to call it the Super Bowl for churches. He's like, this is our Super Bowl, because he goes, it's that one time a year where y'all finally show up.
No, that's Christmas.
Yeah. Though he said Easter was the Super Bowl and then Christmas was like a close second. But you're right. You know, unfortunately, it's like, it's Easter, we got to go. It's Christmas, how about just try to go every Sunday? It'll be all right. But we appreciate Jennifer for joining us. Welcome in this morning. You know, so much wonderful things happening, and we've already started off on a wonderful note, but it doesn't get more wonderful. We just talked about the Lord and God's most precious creation, and we want to welcome into the world officially here on this show none other than baby Brant Michael.
That's correct.
Congratulations, Toy, and your son.
Son and daughter-in-law.
Check that out. Tell us about little baby Brant.
Well, he only took 30 hours to get here.
Just 30.
Just 30.
He wasn't going down 45 then.
No, he was not. Anyways, but he was born on April 3rd, and he is just absolutely amazing. Just precious, precious, precious. Everybody's always told me, being a grandparent is completely different than being a parent, and I will say that is absolutely accurate. I don't love my children any less, but it's just not explainable. Like
you tell your son, like, okay, get away, I need your baby. You know?
Yes, exactly. It's very humbling, actually. You know, you look at it and you're like, I created this monster, and then he created something so special and precious. So, anyways, but they're doing great, and he's just amazing. And I have been over to visit multiple times, and all I want to do is hold him.
Yeah.
And right now, all he's doing is sleeping, so he's pretty peaceful. So I'm enjoying that part of it. When he starts getting up and getting rambunctious, I may not enjoy it as much.
Where do they live?
And they live in Willis.
So they're very close.
Very close.
Is this your first grandbaby?
It is my first grandbaby.
Wow, congratulations. I'm sitting here thinking, we're close to the same age, not by much, or very close. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm a dad with like a 3-year-old, and I'm like, I waited so long.
Well, I am a mom of a 9-year-old with now a grandbaby.
That's so cool, though.
Yep.
How awesome is that?
Yep.
I love that toy. Well, congratulations to you. What's your son's name?
Darren. Darren and Alyssa Lovell is Brant's parents.
Well, Darren and
or
Alyssa.
Our Brant's parents.
Darren and Alyssa, congratulations. This is their first?
This is their first.
Baby. Wow. Welcome to parenthood. The first is always so gentle and wonderful, and then the wife will say, let's have more. And then the fun starts. And then you're chasing them all over the area.
That's exactly right.
Oh, it's great. And that is so cool. Just love that. Well,
He's precious.
Look how cute he is.
He's precious. He was tiny.
I used to always... I got started in business fairly young. I was, 18 or 19. I kind of knew what I wanted to do, I guess. Not really. I just wanted to do something and get out there. And I had an idea, and I went for it. And I remember going to chamber events. I started going to chamber events when I was 20 or 19. And I felt so out of place because I was so young, and, everyone else was a little bit older than me. And I had a young man named Brian, Brian Jameson, who was like a brother to me. And I met him playing basketball at the rec center. He's a few years older than me. He was in his early 20s. And I'll never forget. He's like, hey, man, you want to ride on my motorcycle? I was like, creeper. Like 16, bro. Turns out he was from Nacogdoches, and people in Nacogdoches are very nice. And I always give Brian a hard time about that. But Brian became a really close friend and a mentor of mine. And he was just genuinely nice because, people in East Texas are genuinely nice. And he took me under his wing. And I'll never forget just going to those meetings and learning and being involved. And Brian taught me a lot about things. But being in those meetings, I didn't know how to talk to people because I was young, and they're talking about finances and, some of them talking about bowel movements, I'm just kidding, that age, But in all seriousness, I didn't know how to talk at first to people or try to relate, because in a conversation you have to find ways to relate, otherwise you're going to lose the audience, just like I'm losing all of you right now. And
where are we going?
Yeah, where are we going with this? But I learned to try to find things that I could grasp onto. The one thing that I was always bummed out is everyone would talk about their kids, everybody, and I had no idea what that was like.
Come on in.
And Cassidy can come in. We got a seat for her to sit down in. Well, she'll be on in just a few moments. But I didn't know how to talk. Everybody was talking about their kids, and I was like, one day when I have kids, I'm not going to sit there and talk about them. That is all I talk about.
That's because they're such a huge part of your life.
And I'm going to tell, especially you young people that are like up-and-comers, and you're like, people don't want to hear all about what you've done and where you've been and blah, 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 and making it about you. If you're around somebody and they have kids, the first thing that should come out of your mouth is, man, how are your kids? People want to talk about their kids.
Maybe people don't want to listen about them, though.
Well, I learned, but you know what? I learned, and this is a really good point. I learned at a young age, even though I was young, going to these chamber meetings, I learned to always ask about people's kids, and that was always the best conversation starter. Because everybody wants to brag
How's
about
the
their
family?
Kid. Yeah. I said, hey, I noticed your little boy's 2 years old. How's he doing? And, man, that would turn into a 30-minute conversation. And I think it's just being relational. But people that have children want to brag about I brag about my little ones all the time. You talk about yours and brag about them all the time.
Do I brag about them?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you kind of.
Okay.
See, Cassidy says yes. Cassidy was like, please quit talking about them. Speaking of which, just because we're bragging on little ones, this was our house last night, and I have to share this because instead of me, you're in a coconut tree, Braylon?
Ring around the rosy?
She says, you can't catch me. I'm in a coconut tree. So this is what went on for 30 minutes last night.
Did they sleep good?
Yes.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Oh.
Oh, she.
Yeah, she pushed him over at the end.
Get out of my way.
You're in a. So that's what I had to do last night. Oh, and it was a long night because for some reason I decided, hey, I'm going to go to college finally at 40, and that's been a fun journey with 2 kids and basically working 2 jobs and my wife working 12-hour days. And so let's just say Sunday rolls around and I'm finally like, I've read all my assignments throughout the week, but I haven't started to do the actual put the pen to the paper or the fingers to the keyboard nowadays. I guess is what we do. And
I work better under pressure, even though I don't like pressure. I do tend to do better under pressure.
oh, yeah, I do too. But I'm going to tell you, Toy, this Sunday night being up until midnight, 1 a.m. has got to stop because that's why Mondays I'm kind of dragging on in here because I get up at, 5 and I'm just like, 4 hours is not good.
I can probably survive on about 5 hours, but less than that, I'm not pleasant.
She ain't fun to be around.
No, I'm grumpy.
If it's less than that, she's actually at another credit union, so won't say any names, but if it's less than, if you see that Toy, she's not representing WCFCU. She's representing some other one somewhere else outside of town.
Yeah, outside of town.
Yeah, so, well, hey, great show lined up today. Cassidy, I like to say Cassidy. It's got that. It's Monday, Cassidy. And she's showing us up, coming in here all bright and colorful, and
Rob's got the shirt he wore last week
Here
on.
I am in my monochrome Fargo, But we want to welcome her in just a few moments. Hey, let us know you're out there today. And do us a favor. We're going to give away some stuff this week. Go ahead and get entered in now. I don't know what we're giving away, but we got some things to give away this week. And you can go ahead and text us right now. Just text in your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. That number again, 936-339-0139. You can text in once per day. And so even though you don't know what we're giving away, you could win today. You could win later this week. We've got some more Cafe Texan gift cards we'll dish out and a lot more. So make sure you text us in. Again, your name to 936-339-0139. As always, big thank you to Walker County Federal Credit Union, serving Walker County since 1957. But somebody was thinking about it in 1953.
There you go.
So we'll step aside and we'll take a brief break. Hey, stay with us. Let us know you're out there on this awesome, marvelous Monday. We'll be back in a moment. More to come on your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Stay with us, please.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope. Imagine a professional office space that elevates your business image without the corporate price tag. Huntsville Executive Office Suites are coming soon to Lake Road. Enjoy high-speed internet, a fully equipped kitchen, and 24/7 secure access. Take advantage of our live answering service, advertising on our outdoor video sign, and a convenient location just a quarter mile from SHSU. Lease terms start at 6 months. Call Raven Property Management at 936-225-4378. Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Grow your business without outgrowing your budget.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Billy Cawthon of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
All right, back at it as we continue on this journey this morning. Thanks for hanging out with us. A little extended break there. How about close to 70 degrees today in Huntsville? We got beautiful weather this week, and to make sure to take a lunch break and go outside. Right now, almost 70 degrees. We'll get up to 84 today. A little warm, sunny tonight. A little bit of cloud cover. 63 tomorrow, 79, decreasing clouds. It's going to get close to 90, though, once we hit the weekend. We do have rain back in the forecast on Saturday. But enjoy it this week and ask your boss to let you outside. Maybe you can just take the desk outside and work. It'd be a lot of fun. Well, as we continue on this morning, we have this really corny Gist horn. Do you remember our Gist horn toy? Remember our Gist horn? Well, we have this really bad one now. Rick Boning bought me one, and it's so horrible. That's the worst horn ever.
Come on, Rick. You can do better.
Yeah, Rick. Hey, look at this. Cassidy Gutierrez joining us this morning. Welcome in.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You bet.
I'll hold this.
You got to hold it a little bit closer.
A little bit closer.
There you
like
go.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
She's showing us up this morning. Decided to come in all pinked out, and I say, Brian, if you're joining from Fargo, I'm sorry, but it is monochrome there. At least Toy's got the Huntsville green on this morning.
Hornet green.
Well, Cassidy is here this morning. She is with the Huntsville Walker County Chamber of Commerce. Been there for a few months now. She is the marketing and events director. And what I love about it, too, is not only are you doing great things, the chamber's doing some awesome things. Had Jason on the show here last week and enjoyed getting to catch up with him. Had lunch with him, too, last week. And just a awesome guy. Love the momentum and the energy at the chamber. Cassidy, you definitely bring it for real. And appreciate it. Was we used to say back in Georgetown, for real, back in the day, for real. For Rizze. But Cassidy, tell us a little bit about, not the chamber yet, but let us know a little bit about your journey. I know you've been in the area for quite some time, married, children. Let us know a little bit about your story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So much. Thank you so much for having me again today. So my name is Cassidy Gutierrez, and I have been at the chamber since January, and I'll just kind of work super quick backwards from there.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was at the university for about a year, and before that, most of my career actually was spent in healthcare, and specifically Fortune 4 corporate America. I've worked all over the country, specifically East Coast, turning things around, pharmacy, healthcare, and so yeah, I have a background. I have a degree in education, a degree in business, and I always say I can't decide what I want to do because I like to do a lot of different things. And so here we are on this adventure, and it has been such a blessing. I can say that I've really enjoyed my time at the chamber, and I truly feel like, for whatever reason, however it happened, I'm supposed to be there. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity. As far as my personal life, I have a wonderful husband. I always say we have 5 total kids, 3 that I hatched, 2 that I acquired. All right, so they're all the way from,
acquisition.
Right, basically, yeah. And there was an acquisition. So they range all the way from 19 down to 17 months.
Wow,
so
that's awesome.
We stay busy, but the little 3 live with us, and we do competitive dance here with Miss Maggie. We love her. We do the Huntsville Baseball League with my son, and yeah, they keep us busy.
Wow, well, praise God for that. I love that story. I love that story. I mean, This is where the shirt idea comes in. I'm so Huntsville. That's so Huntsville. I love it.
We are so Huntsville. We love, we're deep-rooted. We love it. I came here in 2011, I think. I came here for Sam and really just stayed. I mean, it just feels like home, and there's been opportunities, here and there to look elsewhere. But it just always feels right. My husband works part-time at our fire department here, and we're so Huntsville. We love it here. We love our churches.
That's a new slogan. We're going to have bumper stickers and the whole thing. Well, Cassidy, I love the journey. Tell us a little bit about, how did the chamber opportunity come along? Somewhere something happened, and boom, boom, and here we are.
Basically, I personally believe it was the good Lord. So when I was at the university, I was working for their Correctional Management Institute, scheduling, the large-scale events and trainings for different levels of correctional officers. And one of my friends who still works at the university in a different department, she actually sent me the chamber opening, and she was like, I just feel like this is you. And she
goes, that's so Huntsville.
That's so Huntsville. That's so Cassidy. That's so Cassidy. And she would perfectly qualify. And I'm like, well, you don't want it. And she was like, no, I feel like this is you. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll pray about it. I'll apply. And then here we are. So
that's cool.
Yeah. It's just, it's been a good fit.
Well, it's awesome. Our chamber, and Toy is on the board with the chamber. Maybe pass it back to Toy just real quick. Highlight a little bit about that, because I don't think folks realize, the chamber has a board, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when you're looking for new employees and things. Maybe kind of guide us on the Cliff's Notes version of just kind of how that process works, because I know there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and while the chamber has an amazing staff, they need the volunteers. There's only 4 of them, and it requires, or actually 4.5. It does require volunteers to function, and it can be time consuming, but it's also rewarding when you get to the end of your goal and you see it's all come to fruition. It's definitely worth it. And for me personally, the relationships that I have established through the chamber are second to none. And I kind of tell this story, if it hadn't been for Laura Green, I would not be as invested with this. And she really set the foundation for me personally. And I feel like I've developed a very good relationship with Cassidy, which I've had to work with her quite a bit since January as we.
And so you've noticed that tone. It was like, I've had to work with her.
I've had to work with her.
I've had to work with her. Very joyful.
I've gotten to work with her as we're prepping.
I've had the privilege to work
there
with
you
her.
go. It has been a privilege. She is amazing. Definitely a breath of fresh air. We're prepping for Diva Night, which is why she and I've been spending so much time together. I am the chair of that committee. If it doesn't go well, it's not my fault. I'm not the chair of the committee if it doesn't go well.
If it goes,
and if it does, how you doing? Just kidding. No, I think it's going to be a great event, and actually, I want Cassidy to kind of hit on that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but the chamber is definitely something that our community needs. And I think that, people have a misconception about it, is that it's all about money, money, money.
Yeah.
However, I don't look at it as an expense. I look at it as an investment. And unfortunately, sometimes investments do cost us, but the end result is those relationships, getting business. Some I didn't even know some businesses existed, and I've lived in Huntsville my entire life until I became a part of the chamber, and I'm like, oh. And I have actually used some businesses because I've met people through the chamber, and I'm only one person. So, I just really feel like that, if you haven't given the chamber an opportunity to help promote your business, advertise for you, or you have, not considered it for, whatever reason, I think that I think you should give it a try. Especially newcomers come to look for businesses and things like that, and to get to know the community. And the chamber is going to be one of your greatest resources for sharing with you people who can provide products and services that you may need.
Yeah, the folks that I've talked to that says, "Oh, I've never really got anything out of it," and I respectfully say, "I've never seen you at anything." If you don't get up and go to events, you have to get up and move. And I know, I'm a business owner too. I get it. I ran an IT company for 14 years. There was days when we had, literally, I was just telling our church administrator this the other day. There were days where we literally had 20 jobs on site, because we also did house calls. Back in the day, we'd go to people's houses and fix their computers. And I remember there's days I'd have 5 or 6 guys out in the field at once, which was awesome. It's tough. It's so tough to try to, you can't make, that's the biggest phrase. My brother taught me this. He goes, I can't stand that phrase, make time, because you cannot make time, but you can learn how to manage time. And for me, I knew as a business owner, you have to invest. And just like you said, it's an investment. You've got to find ways to be active. Even if it's a 1 hour lunch a week, that 1 hour lunch could open up the doors to the next big opportunity. The chamber's going to provide that, but you can't just sign up and pay a fee and expect for things to happen. You've got to go and make yourself known. Even if you're uncomfortable, it's perfectly okay, because our chamber is not cliquish. I've been in communities, and I'm not knocking them, where it's always the same people at the same tables. That's naturally going to happen anywhere, but our chamber, people are going to get up and walk around. They want to get to know you. And one way that you, especially ladies, can really be involved and get to meet other business professionals and have a good time is Diva Night, coming up April the 26th.
25th. Don't come on the 26th. It'll be over.
Yeah, come on the 24th and then camp out overnight and then stay for the 25th.
Right.
Let us know about Diva Night this
they can
year.
help us set up. Yeah, so we'll be at the Walker County Fairgrounds on April 25th. The event kicks off 5:30 to 8:30, and so this is something that is not new to Walker County. This is actually our 15th year, but it is my first year having the honor and blessing to be able to put this event together.
Let's say
so
she's in charge, Toy, so if anything happens. So
No.
Yeah.
No. Look, again, it's going to go great. I'm not even going to say that the opposite, because I don't believe it's true. I believe that the only way it can go is amazing.
That's
and so
right.
If you're not familiar with this event, it's an average of 300 ladies. You come out, and there's so many different opportunities. So it's everything from a safe place to have a good time with other women. We really work to treat you like a diva and a princess and spoil you. So we have some wonderful community partners. We have Hartfield, for example, that's going to be donating 150 roses to give out to our women at the door. We have Action Buggy that's going to be shuttling you fine ladies. If you're in your high heels or your Queen of Hearts costume, you can park and they will shuttle you to the front door. We'll have a live DJ, so really good time. Food, beverage, all that's included in your ticket price. So I really feel like it's a steal of a deal. To your point, it could be a networking opportunity. It can be just a night out of the house. So there's everything from women just looking to get out to business owners looking to network and everything in between. And so it really is a fantastic opportunity to get more involved in your community or just take care of yourself for a few hours. Come out, have fun, let us pamper you. There's opportunities to shop. So we are full of vendors. We have about 30 vendors out here. We've got everything. Yes, that's a huge blessing. That's a win. So we've got everything from salons to boutiques to even like home goods, spices, children's boutiques. And so, it's a really great opportunity to come out and shop as well if you're looking for that opportunity. So
I was thinking if somebody out there is like a classic car person and they've got an Impala, okay, hear me out on this real quick. Next year, a pink Impala. You know how Mary Kay has like the pink Cadillacs. Let's get a pink Impala. And I know Action Buggies is shuttling. We appreciate them. But let's also get the Hala Impala. They could pick, Hala Impala.
What I heard was you guys are buying me
pink. The Hala Impala.
Pink is my signature color, in case you couldn't realize. So anything you say that's pink, I'm probably going to be on board. No, I love the idea.
But no, just all jokes aside, Diva Night is such a great event. 15 years of this, and women, and especially for the women out there, get out and be a part of this. It's so much fun. My wife had the privilege to go last year. She had an absolute blast. It was awesome, and I want to encourage all of you to be a part of this. That folks can get more. Tickets are still for sale, obviously. Can they get them at the door, or do they have to do it online?
Yeah, they can get the tickets at the door. And just if I didn't mention, I made a plug with the costume, but the theme this year is Alice in Wonderland. So I do want you guys to know that you're welcome to come dressed in full costume. We have a costume contest. That's a fun time. But come in your work clothes, come in your jeans and T-shirt, whatever you're comfortable in. But yes, sir, they can get tickets online now, and you can get tickets at the door as well.
Yeah, just search on Google. So easy to find it. Just search for Huntsville Walker County Chamber of Commerce. First result, as long as it doesn't say sponsored, that first result right under it is going to be the chamber website, and you can click on events. It's very easy to navigate, and you can find where to get those tickets very easily. What is do you mind going over the cost? Just if someone out there may ask, saying, hey, what are in fact, someone did.
Perfect.
Someone did ask, what are the costs?
Yeah, I'm excited. And just so you know, we actually did a tiny bit of revamping to our webpage. In our spare time, we're working on making those edits as well. So actually on the front page, you will see, the Chamber of Commerce page, Diva Night, a clickable link. It'll take you to registration. Of course, you can see our Facebook page as well. I've been putting a lot of content out there with the clickable link for you guys. But the tickets are $50 a piece, or if you buy 5, you get the 6th free. So I've had a lot of people really take advantage of that bundle. Grab your friends. I've had some incredible employers grab those for their employees and let their team go out and have a good time. So that bundle really is a good opportunity to buy 5, get the 6th free, or $50 for an individual ticket. And again, that does include everything from shopping opportunity. We have an incredible amount of raffles happening this year.
Sweet.
Some of them just door prizes. So that is with your ticket coming in the door. You have the opportunity to win some of these incredible gift baskets. The food is provided. The beverages are provided. So I really think it's a great opportunity and a great cost.
It is. We're showing the screen right there, and Cassidy's right. It's right there. You just barely scroll down. It's on there. 2025 Diva Night, April the 25th, Friday at the Walker County Fairgrounds, presented by Cheese St. Luke's. Appreciate them. You can go to HuntsvilleWalkerChamber.com for all of that great information. Go out and be a part of it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And that banner is actually clickable as well. And I do want to make one more thank you to St. Luke's, our presenting sponsor. So they were the presenting sponsor last year of this event, and I really do appreciate them helping make this happen. And again, if you go to our website, you can see a whole list of our community partners and sponsors that are really helping make this event possible. So I'm thankful to all of them.
There it is, Diva Night. Come on. As the old pastor down in Louisiana used to say during those revivals, come on down here and get the rest of it. So you better get on down there and get the rest of it.
I don't know if I can say it like that, but I'm going to work on it. Between now and April 25th, I'll work on it.
All you have to do is try this. Say,
Huh?
See, that's it. Get the rest. Get on down here now and get the rest of it.
That's so Huntsville.
That's so Huntsville.
So Huntsville.
Raven ain't got nothing on us. Remember that? That's so Raven back in the day. Raven ain't got nothing on Huntsville. So, Toy, real quick too. You've been a part of this for many years. Just let us know from a perspective of someone who's going to go. What can they expect, and what has your experience been like over the years going to this event?
I think one of the most exciting parts of seeing these ladies dress up, it is priceless. I mean, it is a true costume contest, and it's fun just to go in and watch ladies get to just take a load off and enjoy themselves. I think that the vendor booths are amazing. There's a little bit of everything for everybody, and those vendors spend a lot of time putting their stuff together and would, appreciate the business that comes through there and the opportunities to create relationships and potentially get new business in the future. And I think that I've been on this committee 3 years now, I think, and the same ladies that have always volunteer still, and they really don't have a reason to do it other than for their personal, because they personally enjoy doing it or want to do it. Not to discredit anybody else, but I know that Sue Slater has worked extremely hard to be a part of this, and she does a lot of behind the scenes things. She's an amazing volunteer. Carol Sullivan is also on this committee, and she works hard as well. And again, not to discredit any of the other volunteers, but I know those two ladies are champs when it comes to putting this together. And there's a lot that goes on, behind the scenes to make this come to fruition. But I think that just seeing the ladies walk around with their beverages, entertaining each other and enjoying the atmosphere and the environment is definitely fun and upbeat, and it's good, clean fun. Yeah. And
love it.
So I think that if you've never been, certainly encourage you to go at least one time. And this year is just as good as any other year. So come join us for the Alice in Wonderland theme and be creative. I encourage people to get dressed up. Be the Mad Hatter. You could.
I want to see someone being like the card,
the Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Hearts, yeah.
Yeah, just anything. Get online and get you some inspiration and bring it and let us see what you got.
Go to HuntsvilleWalkerChamber.com and get on down there and get the rest of it. Huh? So, all right. Well, hey, we normally would take a break and then we'd come back and sign off, but I know y'all have to get going here in just a few moments. Cassidy, you want to hang out with us just for a few more minutes? Well, we're going to close the show with Cassidy. So here's what today is. Check this out. We're going to shift gears as we start to wind down. Thank everybody. Many of you are joining us. By the way, I did want to say Linda Horn is looking forward to Diva Night tonight. Or Diva Night coming up. Many people are saying that they're looking forward to it. Cherie Brabbits has also said, she said, Walker County Chamber Diva Night going to be spectacular, ladies. If you've gotten your ticket, do it today. Food, fun, shopping, amazing door prizes and raffles. Don't miss out. Come join us.
She's another MVP volunteer, Cherie Brabbits. So I'm going to make it,
yeah,
another one.
She's amazing as well.
We love Cherie. Linda may have said something. I think the comments got mixed up, but I know Linda would enjoy it too. Hey, on this day, check this out. We always think of like the 13th is a bad number, right? Well, you know what tomorrow is? It's tax. 14th? Yeah, it's tax day. 14th. Yeah, what is today? Today's the 4th. Tomorrow's tax day. Check this out. I didn't know this. On this day, this is the date that Lincoln was shot, that the Titanic hit the iceberg. Did not know this. And also it's the day before taxes. So April the 14th. We're gonna take our positive show, take it back down a notch now. But it's been positive because Cassidy's been here and Toy. So we're okay. That's pretty crazy to think about, though. I didn't know that Lincoln was shot on the same date, not the actual day, of course, but the same date that the Titanic sank. Pretty crazy to think about. Y'all remember J.C. Penney's? Did you ever go to the Penny's here in Huntsville back in the day? Yep. It was 1902 when J.C. Penney opened their first store in Kemner, Wyoming. Never even heard of it. Customers were surprised when they walked in that everything wasn't a penny. It was more than a penny. And kind of like when you go into the dollar store now. Nothing is no longer a dollar at the dollar store. Wow. Pretty crazy. Again, we talked about the Titanic. It was 1912 on this date that the world's then they thought to be the most unsinkable ship, the Titanic, hit the iceberg and began sinking. You know, I know it happened so long ago, but there's so many jokes about that, and I don't think that's anything to joke about. You know, it's like people make light of it because it happened so long ago, but a lot of people lost their lives on that day. You know, even this feed that we get for show prep even put a joke, and I don't even want to read it because I'm like, no, that's nothing. There's somebody's family member that they never knew that lost their life on that, and pray to God that nothing like that ever happens again. And they wrote this whole thing about it. I'm not going to read any. Look at all these bullets. These are all jokes about that. Not going to do it. Sorry, guys. I'm going to cancel my membership to these punks. Howard Taft. It was on this date in 1913. Howard Taft started the tradition of throwing out the first baseball game at the start of the season. You ever been able to throw a ball before?
No, it probably wouldn't get very far.
Cassidy, did you ever throw one?
Not yet.
When I used to broadcast for Georgetown High School, the coach came up to me out of nowhere. He's like, Rob, man, our guy's not here. Can you throw the first pitch? Man, I threw a strike, but it was horrible. I looked like some 80-year-old guy that had been gorging on hamburgers his whole life out there throwing that thing. Yeah, it was not good. Was not good. But that started that tradition. That tradition has been replaced. Now it's the president throwing out the first player that's found to be cheating. That's the new tradition now in base. Just kidding. That's a bad joke. 1960, Bye Bye Birdie opened on Broadway. Did you guys ever listen or watch Bye Bye Birdie? Me either. So, so we're all in the same boat.
Don't make us feel guilty.
Couple of things here. Today is International Laver Bread Day. Do you know what that is?
Nope, never heard of it.
Never heard of it either. So if somebody knows, let us know. It's National Gardening Day.
Okay.
And I've got a wound to prove that I've been gardening. Oh. The old blister on the thumb. How do you get a blister planting tomatoes? That's what happened to me over the weekend. Yeah, I had a post hole digger. And folks, if you're going to complain here about the ground in Huntsville, man, I grew up in Central Texas. After 2 inches, we hit limestone. This is so easy. In fact, yes, you had to dynamite and jackhammer everything. I had no idea that when I have a post hole digger, and man, I put that thing in the ground, it sunk all the way. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. Something that would take an hour back where I grew up takes 5 seconds here in Huntsville. But it is National Gardener Day. Do you garden, Cassidy?
I try just small things. Like, again, we're all over the place, but I try, little herbs and stuff like cilantro, things like that. Yeah.
Definitely Huntsville.
Huntsville.
For sure. Definitely Huntsville. And Toy, not a gardener whatsoever. It's National Dolphin Day. Little dolphin. Oh, you got a little dolphin, huh? Little dolphin. I like how to say that. Little dolphin. If you're from the Northeast, can you say dolphin for us? I'm going to ask our friend Jason. Although he doesn't have the accent,
I think he's worked very hard. It's probably part of his baptism.
Yeah, he's baptized a Texan.
He had to pass an accent test.
Jason, come back on the show and pronounce dolphin in the correct way. In your way. In your way. That is the correct way. Hey, it's National Look Up at the Sky Day today. Look up at the sky.
A lot of outdoor activities. Yeah.
This is cool. We were at a garage sale a couple of weeks ago, and there was this guy I'm always looking for like electronics at garage sales. I don't know, I'm just an electronic guy. And this guy had like this really nice keyboard and mouse. It's the same one I have here that I brought to the church a long time ago. And I was like, and you can't find them anymore. There's like $150 keyboards. They're nice with the mouse and everything. And he had it for sale for $20. Still new in the box. I was like, done, sold. And then he's like, do you want? And then of course they start hawking everything on. Oh, you want this? I said, well, I'll take it, but. I said, how much do you want for it? He's like, well, no, you can just have it. Well, he gives me one inflatable and one pull. The pull had holes in it. It doesn't work. So I was kind of frustrated about that, but he gave it to me. But he gave me a floaty, and that thing holds air. I aired it up. And the other night, even here in Huntsville, thank goodness we don't have a ton of light pollution. And, we live in the back part of Elkins, and so it's fairly dark back there. But my daughter was up with me. Normally she's in bed, but she was awake. And I took that floaty. I put it in the driveway. I said, come over here, sweetheart. And it was one of those you can lay on, and it has armrests, so it was really comfortable. And I put it in the driveway. I laid on it. I said, come here, sweetheart. Come over here and look at this. And she crawled up on my shoulder right here under my arm, and we both just sat there and stared at the sky and the stars. And then I got an app that tells you what everything is. And so we found Mars, and she was like, is that Mars, Daddy? It's kind of red. And it was cool, like my little 4-year-old sitting there saying these things. So we participated a few days early at National Look Up at the Sky Day. It's also National Day of Silence. I'll be quiet, sorry.
You do not know how to do that.
I've taught my son how to do this too. You know, he's 21 months now, and he goes, "Shh, Daddy, shh." It's National Silence Day. National Pecan Day. Please quit saying pecan.
It's not.
Do you know people that say that?
No.
People say pecan.
No, it's pecan.
Well, don't use a can. They make something for that. It's National Ex-Spouse Day today. National, I didn't know they had that one. National Pan American Day. And how about this one? National Reach as High as You Can Day today. National Reach as High as You Can. You ought to go back to the chamber and all of you guys reach up.
All gonna reach.
And,
Yeah.
and then put on there, it's National Reach as High as You Can. And then under it, that's so Huntsville. Perfect. I think that's pretty much it. Sarah Michelle Gellar, y'all know her. 48 today. Pretty crazy to think. NFL quarterback Baker Mayfield from the Browns and the Buccaneers. He's 30 today. That's crazy. And then other than that, never heard of any of these. Couple of last things you need to know. Last week, Jay North played TV's Dennis the Menace. You ever watch Dennis the Menace growing up? Love that show. He passed away, who played Dennis the Menace 60 years ago. Now we've gotten word that Joey Vieira, I've heard of him, he portrayed the farm boy Sylvester Porky on the first 4 seasons of the long-running CBS series Lassie, has died. Man, you tell you, that's 2 of the golden era TV back in the day.
We're getting old, Rob.
It's poor Lassie. Oh, man. Egg prices. Y'all worried about egg prices? Before Easter, they actually increased again. Now a record $6.23 per dozen. For that. Toy will be starting an egg farm, and you can pick up those eggs at Walker County Federal Credit Union. She will not clean them, by the way. They will be ready to go. You clean them yourself. Today's impossible question. For the average woman, think about this, ladies. This is a Diva Night question.
Okay, let's hear it.
For the average woman, this will occur about 4 times in her lifetime. 4 times in her lifetime for the average woman. This is today's impossible question. Can you think of what it is? And it is something that's negative. Even though we're a positive show, it's a negative.
I was like, jeez.
Just taking it down a notch.
Change pant sizes in the wrong direction?
Has that ever happened? They make pants like that now with like the back pockets on the front. I'm like, why are you wearing that, man?
I'm talking about pant sizes like we grew up, you know.
Yeah. Well, do y'all have any idea? Cassidy, any idea what it might be?
I don't. I'm afraid to know.
Well, it's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of negative, but not too bad. For the average woman, this will occur about 4 times in her lifetime. The correct answer in today's impossible question is she'll receive a terrible haircut. Terrible haircut.
Oh, yeah, that tracks.
You ever got that?
Yeah.
My wife has a couple of times, and it's not a good. It's not a good day when that happens.
No.
So, but we have great salons here in town. We have great salons in town that'll take good care of you. So, well, I think that'll about wrap it up. There's a lot more beef in here, but we're not going to go through all that. Look at that. Look how much stuff there is. We're done.
It's a lot, yeah.
Hey, we want to thank y'all again. Diva Night coming up Friday, April the 25th. Come out and be a part of that. You can go to HuntsvilleWalkerChamber.com to get those tickets today. And go by and see Cassidy over at the Chamber. If you're not a member, as Toy said, it's such an important organization. I've always said if you're a business, you need to be involved in at least 2 things to have a chance at being successful. Of course, you got to put in the work. But one of them I've always said is you've got to join your local Chamber of Commerce. And the second is get involved in a service organization such as the Lions Club, Rotary, one of those. And if you do that and you're active as much as you can be, you'll have a good chance at being successful in your business. So that'll wrap it up. Toy, any final comments today? Toy's very serious.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday today.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. I've got one last little bit.
A woman, a few words.
Happy Monday. I got really quick, one last little inspiration because we always try to lift people up here on the show. I was thinking about this last night because a friend I was talking to earlier in the week had told me something about, I've made a lot of investments. We were talking on the phone. We talk at least once a week. And he goes, man, I've made a lot of investments in people's life. And the one time I mess up, this person discredited me. And I said, who cares, man? I said, God sees what you're doing behind the scenes. Don't worry about that. And so I thought of this thought last night before I went to sleep. And here's the inspiration for today. Don't let one comment make you forget a lifetime of kindness. Maybe you've been in a friendship and somebody said something that you just said, man, I can't believe they said that. And then that creates this barrier. And it's understandable, but don't allow that to overlook all the kindness maybe that someone's invested in you. And I want to remind you that people, we all fall short. But don't overlook the good that people have done and that they will do, especially here in Huntsville. And above all, don't overlook what God has done for you. His grace is greater than anything. So hashtag let go, God is faithful, and move forward.
Amen.
That's the message today.
Amen.
Thank you to Toy, Walker County Federal Credit Union. Go by, set up your account, right?
That's right.
Get cookies on Friday. I almost came Friday, but I didn't make it.
Well, Miss Paula bakes the cookies for us. So,
All right. Well, go by Walker County Federal Credit Union. Again, we couldn't bring folks like Cassidy on this show without our foundation support. We don't charge nonprofits to come on and talk, and we appreciate that very much. We don't have to because of friends like Walker County Federal Credit Union. Go by, tell them you heard about them here on this show at Normal Park. In fact, this weekend I deposited a check, super easy through the app, and I kind of laughed because my wife she still has one account lingering at a big boy bank that's no longer here in Huntsville. I haven't been here for a long time. I said, why are you using them, sweetheart? We have our loans and everything else. So we have our joint account. I said, would you just start depositing that paycheck in that joint account? One day she'll make that jump. So, hey, we'll take it easy, friends. We love you. We'll be back tomorrow. Jason Thompson joins us. And then as we go on, we got a special treat for you on Fridays. We take our show back on the road. Our Hometown Spotlight series continues. We will be at the Walker Education Center over at the Sam Houston Museum with Derek Birdsall on Friday. So a lot happening this week. And as I end every show, reminding you we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Big thanks again to Cassidy. Thanks for joining us. And Toy from Walker County Federal Credit Union. Until then, good morning, Huntsville. God bless, and so long. Have a wonderful day. See y'all.
Bye.